Hello! If you're new here, this series is all about documenting my journey of intentionally creating my dream life. Not waiting for the perfect circumstances, but finding beauty in the life I already have. Today's episode is one I've been really excited to film because it is something I think so many of us struggle with. We often believe that a beautiful life has to be an expensive life. You need the luxury holidays, the designer clothes, a dream home, endless disposable income, or a picture-perfect lifestyle to feel happy. But over the past week, I wanted to challenge that belief. So I set myself a little experiment. For 1 week, I decided to romanticize my life on a budget. Not by pretending everything was perfect, not by spending money I didn't have, but by paying attention, by slowing down, and by adding intention to ordinary moments. And honestly, this week reminded me that a rich life and an expensive life aren't always the same thing. So today I'm taking you through the week, sharing what I did, what surprised me, and what I learned about happiness along the way. And at the end, I'll give you a 7-day challenge so you can try romanticizing your own life no matter your budget. So grab a drink, get comfortable, and let's dive in. Romanticizing. I think this phrase has become really popular online. Sometimes it gets dismissed as making everything look aesthetic. Buying expensive candles, ordering the fancy coffee, living in beautiful houses. And while those things can be lovely, I don't think that's what romanticizing your life is really about. For me, it's about presence. It's choosing to notice beauty that already exists. It's treating ordinary moments as if they're worth my attention. It's believing your life deserves to be enjoyed now, not only after you've reached that goal. Romanticizing your life doesn't require more money, it requires more awareness. So, day 1, I started with my morning. I realized that I often rush through my mornings, checking my phone before I've even fully woken up, thinking about everything I needed to do. So on the first day, I decided to slow everything down. I opened the curtains as soon as I woke up. I got a glass of water and I sat quietly just for a few minutes. I listened to the birds outside, and instead of rushing straight into productivity, I allowed myself to arrive in the day. Nothing dramatic happened, but I noticed I felt calmer, more present, and more grateful. Sometimes changing your day isn't about adding more, it's about removing the rush. Day 2, a solo adventure. One afternoon, I took myself on a solo date, and I recommend going on solo dates. It wasn't anywhere expensive. It was just the local cafe and a walk through a nearby park. I took a book with me. I left my headphones in my bag and just observed the world around me. People were laughing, dogs were playing, people were sitting in the sunshine. And I realized how rarely I let myself simply exist without trying to multitask. The whole afternoon cost about £5, but the feeling stayed with me for much longer. Day 3 was finding beauty at home. One of the biggest surprises this week was how much joy I found at home. Tidied my room, I opened the windows to get some fresh air in, I lit a candle that I have already owned and haven't been using. I played calming music while cooking dinner. Instead of treating chores like interruptions, I treated them like acts of care. Cleaning wasn't just cleaning. It became creating a peaceful space. And cooking wasn't just another task. It became about nourishing myself. The same actions felt completely different because my mindset had changed. On day 4, gratitude changes everything. This was probably the simplest day. Before bed, I just wrote down 5 moments that made me smile. Not huge achievements, just little things. The sunshine, a good conversation, a delicious meal. I love my food. Finishing a book and hearing one of my favorite songs unexpectedly. I realized happiness had been there all day. I just hadn't always noticed it. Gratitude doesn't create perfection. It creates awareness. Day 5 was saying yes to something new. One of my goals this year is trying to collect more experiences rather than possessions. So I challenged myself to do something I've never done before. And it didn't have to be expensive. It just had to be slightly different to my normal stuff. Whether that's taking a new walking route, visiting a local museum, and attending a community event, or learning a new recipe, novelty has a way of making life feel bigger. We don't always need to travel far. Sometimes we just need to become more curious. Day 6, putting my phone down. This was the hardest of the challenge. I left my phone in another room for most of the evening. There was no endless scrolling, no checking notifications. Instead, I read, journaled, watched a TV show, fully present, and sat outside. I noticed something interesting. Life felt slower, not because time had changed, but because my attention had. And attention is one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves. And then finally, on day 7, reflecting on the week. So by the end of the week, I realized something. None of the moments that stood out had been expensive. What made them memorable was the intention, the presence, the curiosity, the gratitude. None of those things require a big bank. They simply require us to stop rushing past our own lives. This week reminded me that I don't want to wait until I have my dream home, dream income, or dream circumstances before I start enjoying life. Because if I keep postponing joy, I'll always find another reason to wait. Instead, I want to create a beautiful life now. One walk, one conversation, one sunset, one ordinary day at a time. That's what romanticizing your life really means to me. If there's one thing this week taught me, it's this. Your life doesn't become meaningful because it looks impressive online. It becomes meaningful because you were fully present for it. Luxury isn't always about price tags. Sometimes luxury is having time, feeling peaceful, laughing with people you love, eating a meal slowly, watching that sunset without checking your phone, reading a book in the garden, feeling grateful for the season you're in. Those moments are available far more often than we realize. And maybe that's the richest kind of life there is. So, this week's challenge is called the Romanticize Your Life Challenge. I know. For the next 7 days, each day intentionally create one beautiful moment. So for some ideas, it could be watching the sunrise or the sunset, buying yourself flowers from the supermarket, reading outside, making your favorite drink, visiting a new place, cooking a meal from scratch, writing a gratitude list, taking a slow evening walk, and having a phone-free evening. It doesn't have to cost much. It just has to remind you that your life is worth enjoying now. Before you leave today's video, spend a few minutes reflecting. If today's Dream Life Diary inspired you, I'd love to know what's your favorite way to romanticize your life without spending a lot of money. Leave it in the comments so we can inspire each other. I'd love to hear from you. And if you're enjoying this series, don't forget to like, subscribe for more videos on manifestation, intentional living, building a beautiful life on a realistic budget. Till next time, bye guys.